Viewers, Times Now has accessed Supreme Court's order copy. This is the important order copy that we have accessed on Times Now, and this is on what happened in the national capital on July 20. And what we have got to know is that the Supreme Court has ordered states to release all students below the age of 18 and those without any criminal antecedents who were arrested or detained during the nationwide protest over exam paper leaks. And the Supreme Court also has ordered that no coercive action should be taken in connection with any FIRs lodged against students involved in the Cockroach Janata Party-led protests at Jantar Mantar and in other states. This is the Supreme Court's big order on student protesters. The hearing happened earlier today. Joining us on the broadcast right now are my colleagues. We have Sagarika as well as Harish joining us live right now. Sagarika, to you first, take us through the key highlights as far as this order is concerned.
Now, it's important to make the distinction that the Supreme Court made while passing its interim order. And this order copy has been accessed by our legal editor, Harish, who's joining us on this broadcast. I'm taking you to point number 4 of page number 6 of this order, where the Supreme Court says it in clear words that the NCT of Delhi and other states may proceed with the investigation of the FIRs registered. However, 1. No coercive measure shall be taken against the protesting students. Such protection nonetheless shall not be extended to persons with criminal antecedents. Why does this become important? Because the Supreme Court, number 1, has said that those who do not have a criminal past, let's not take any coercive action against them. But this exception will not be given to those with persons who have criminal antecedents. So go ahead, file those FIRs, go ahead with those FIRs, but do not take action against protesting students, and such protection nonetheless shall not be extended to persons with criminal antecedents. Now remember, Hina, we have to put this into context because only yesterday Times Now broke the story of how the Delhi police is looking into the records of several individuals with criminal antecedents who were present at the protest site between 20th to the 25th, and the numbers as per Delhi police sources went up to close to 2,873. Those people who were present at those protests who were identified, out of whom 989 had antecedents in heinous offences. As per the information that sources gave us, more than 100 people were involved in cases of murder. So now that we know that the Delhi police is looking at those with criminal antecedents, and the Supreme Court has said there'll be no action, there'll be no coercive action against those who do not have a criminal record, but this exception will not be for those with criminal antecedents. So yes, the controversy is only going to get bigger.
Absolutely. So the bottom line is, with Supreme Court pronouncing this order, it has said that there should be protection granted to genuine students, genuine protesters, but those who have a criminal past should not be spared. Thank you very much, Sagarika, for the moment, for joining us with your inputs on the story. Let me go across to Harish as well, who's joining us live right now. Harish, while the hearing was going on, we also got to know that the Supreme Court is looking at the possibility of an independent probe into this matter. What has been mentioned in this order copy about the need for an independent probe?
Yes, that's right, Hina. The Chief Justice bench has made it very clear that it will go ahead and form a high-power committee, and it very clearly says that prima facie a case has been made out by both sides, that is the CJP protesters and also the injured policemen, for a free, fair, impartial and thorough probe. That is what the Supreme Court is going to do. And before that, as you rightly said, Supreme Court has issued notice to the centre and Delhi government, and also to other states where protests happen, like UP, Bihar, Maharashtra and Karnataka, seeking their view and regarding the composition of the high power committee. And very significantly, Supreme Court has issued a balanced order. Supreme Court has said the complaints by the protesters will be examined. At the same time, time. We cannot ignore the fact that 200 policemen were also ignored. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing for the Delhi police, has said that if their cause is not addressed, it will demoralize the police force, because even they have suffered, not just the students, but Supreme Court has said we will look into all aspects. Like Supreme Court said, there was use of pellet gun, there was a case where a policeman slapped a woman, there are instances of journalists being attacked, assaulted mercilessly during the protest, and several other incidents, and use of electric batons, lathi charge, tear gas. All these aspects will be examined by the high power committee, which will be constituted. Announcement of which will be made on the next date of hearing, that is coming Monday.
Right.
The Supreme Court making it very clear that we will ensure that both sides will get justice. We will issue pan-India guidelines, and there will be a uniform protocol, and whichever person has committed excesses, law will take its own course. So very, very significant observations are coming in from the Chief Justice, who also took into consideration the fact of that the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta's statement that large number of miscreants, anti-social elements had intruded into the protest and created trouble. And as we reported yesterday, Delhi police has identified 3,000 persons, large number of people who are accused in cases like murder, attempted murder, and rape. So Supreme Court emphasizing that all aspects will be looked into. Back to you, Hina.
Right. Harish, request you to please stay on with us. More breaking inputs coming in. CJP, Cockroach Janata Party, has also responded to Supreme Court's interim order. Saurav Das, the spokesperson of CJP, has reacted saying, if Supreme Court is doing anything for students, then we welcome it. We were on the ground, he says, those, in future, no action will be taken. This is the point that he's trying to make. Saurav Das, in fact, has said that the platform, which is the Cockroach Janata Party, is going to resume its protest if the government does not fulfill its promises. Listen in.
देखिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट अगर कुछ युवाओं के हित में कर रही है तो हम वेलकम करते हैं ऐसे ऑर्डर्स को या जजमेंट्स को। हम लोग ग्राउंड पे थे बहुत टाइम से, हम लोगों की कुछ डिमांड्स थी एंड वो डिमांड्स पूरे होने चाहिए, वो सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट बात है। हमारा जो एक जो की डिमांड था वो था कि एफआईआर सारे विड्रॉ होंगे सारे प्रोटेस्टर्स के खिलाफ, एंड फ्यूचर में भी कोई ऐसे एक्शन, रिटेलिएटरी मेजर, कोई भी एक्शन सरकार नहीं लेगी किसी भी प्रोटेस्टर के खिलाफ। अभी अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट बोल रही है कि जिनके ऊपर एफआईआर्स है पहले से उनको मत छोड़िए, तो वो हमें मंजूर नहीं है।
Let's go across to my colleague Shivam, who is joining us live right now for more on this. Shivam, first reaction they're coming in from CJP spokesperson Saurav Das on Supreme Court's order today.
Hello, it's not audible. Hello.
Shivam, can you hear me? Okay, I don't think Shivam can hear me. We'll try and reconnect with him in just a bit. Meanwhile, let's once again play out this reaction that we've got from Saurav Das of Cockroach Janata Party.
देखिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट अगर कुछ युवाओं के हित में कर रही है तो हम वेलकम करते हैं ऐसे ऑर्डर्स को या जजमेंट्स को। हम लोग ग्राउंड पे थे बहुत टाइम से, हम लोगों की कुछ डिमांड्स थी एंड वो डिमांड्स पूरे होने चाहिए, वो सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट बात है। हमारा जो एक जो की डिमांड था वो था कि एफआईआर सारे विड्रॉ होंगे सारे प्रोटेस्टर्स के खिलाफ, एंड फ्यूचर में भी कोई ऐसे एक्शन, रिटेलिएटरी मेजर, कोई भी एक्शन सरकार नहीं लेगी किसी भी प्रोटेस्टर के खिलाफ। अभी अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट बोल रही है कि जिनके ऊपर एफआईआर्स है पहले से उनको मत छोड़िए, तो वो हमें मंजूर नहीं है।
Let's go back to Shivam, who continues to be with us at this point in time. Shivam, now, you know, in a way, CJP is not agreeing with the point that has been made by Supreme Court. I mean, Supreme Court has made one thing very clear, that those who have a criminal past, they should not be spared. No coercive action should be taken against innocent students. But CJP spokesperson, they're saying that it is not acceptable to them.
Well, exactly, and it seems like a new bone of contention is now emerging between the remarks made by the Supreme Court of India and the demands that what, according to Saurav Das, what laid down by the Cockroach Janata Party in front of the government. As you rightly mentioned, today there was a clear-cut, interim order came in that all the FIR should be quashed and all the minors should be released. But those who have a criminal background, those who have a history of crime, they are not coming under this particular exception in the case. Now, as we have also played twice, that how Saurav Das is again saying that they've had a demand of a complete blank quashing on the FIRs and on the case registered against all the students. So it remains to be seen how impactful it will be, because on one side, how we have seen how the Cockroach Janata Party was saying that it is the police responsibility to maintain law and order. But if there is already existing records of the past criminal cases or any cases in the past, how can those individuals be given bail, be given a blank check and blank release without any independent probe? Because again, as rightly mentioned, today also Supreme Court reiterated the fact that the excess use of police, excess use of force by the security officials should also be looked at independently. So while on one hand side there has been an independent probe on the excess use of power by the authorities, on the other hand side CJP saying that we don't want any kind of probe again any individual, be it even if the person has a criminal record, seems something that will again not be very satisfying to a lot of individuals who were a part of that particular protest. Because again, if somebody has a criminal background and they were a part of the agitation which eventually broke out the violence, there could be those elements that even CJP was saying that there were some anti-social elements. So even while asking a blanket release, is CJP subconsciously hiding those anti-social elements is something that remains to be seen.
Right. Thank you very much, Shivam, for the moment, for joining us with your inputs on the story. We will slip into a very short break right now. Coming back with lots more. Stay with us.